And I sure hope you had a pleasant day. And we're going to try to make the evening pleasant also. So we're going to, I acknowledge the board members without you hearing me call your name and all that. I check you all off. So we're in good standing. And if everybody, yeah, so we all know who. Would you mind introducing yourself so we'll know who's here?
So you can start.
I'm Rose Johnson. I am a member of CB5. I'm a member of this committee, the Land Use and Housing, and I'm also a co-chair of the Cannabis Management Review Committee as well.
Good.
My name is Derek Johnson. I'm a community member, designated videographer for tonight of the meeting. Nice to meet you.
Isaiah Thomas, community board member, land use and housing committee member.
Jeremy Kirkostas with Monadnock Construction. I'm involved with IUV CCC. This is my second time joining you guys. Nice to be here again.
Welcome.
Community member for the committee.
Laura Santos, also CB5-ENY committee member.
Hi, I'm Abu. I'm on CB3, but I'm just here because I'm interested in home ownership.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, good night. My name is Kimberly Gorman. I'm a new neighbor in the community. I just moved in December.
Good.
Welcome.
Pleased to have you. There's no place like East New York.
That's
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been here 57 years. Been there, done that.
Cedric Johnson, just curious about land use in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Welcome. Welcome.
I'm Elijah Oringer. I'm a project manager with Gotham Organization working on the IUV project.
Okay.
Jeremy, it's my first community board meeting ever.
Wow. Welcome.
You chose a good one.
Okay.
Yes, you chose a good one.
Good evening. I'm Gigi Lee. I'm here from the New York City Economic Development Corporation for the second event item.
Welcome.
Welcome to all of you.
And I'm Alice Lohman. I'm the chair of Community Board 5, the proud chair of Community Board 5. And
And she's a great chair.
And we actually we have a designated person, which is Mr. Johnson, who records our meetings on YouTube. So, you know, when you miss our meetings, you can check our YouTube channel to kind of get what happened in our community for the month. And it's CB5-ENY. That is our YouTube page. You can see our general board meetings there and the different committees that we have. So we welcome you to join that page and subscribe.
Miguel Feliciano, first vice chair, and member of the Land Use Committee, also the Economic Development Committee also. Welcome, everyone.
And Mrs.
Hi,
Bright.
I'm Vivian Bright. I've been a member of community board for, yeah. Okay, many years. Okay.
Yes.
And I love East New York. There's no place like East New York.
That's right.
So if you know anybody want to move to East New York, transportation is great.
That's right.
Look where we're located.
Yeah.
Bell Parkway, Jackie Robinson, Atlantic, Fulton,
Yeah.
Linden Boulevard.
Yes.
All the hot spots and all the streets.
Yes.
I've been doing that for a long time.
We affectionately call her Mother.
Mother Bright. That's Mother Bright.
Yes.
Because I'm the oldest person here.
With the most
good.
wisdom too.
But
Yeah.
that's good. Tonight we have a presentation, two presentations.
Yes.
When you complete your presentation, you can leave or you can stay to see what we do with the next one. The first one is the Christian Culture Center in Gotham's. We'll hear
Sure.
from you guys.
Yeah. I apologize, you guys got stuck with me. I'm the construction guy, and Simeon, who came to the last meeting, is not able to join us. I also am sorry that we're going analog and I couldn't make the projector work. But I just wanted to give everybody an update Elijah's team and Monadnock, we've been working together on the CCC job for years now. So the first phase of construction started on the corner of Flatlands in Pennsylvania last year. April, we broke ground. We're a year into it. We have about a year to go. The job's scheduled to wrap up in the second quarter of 2026, and we're just about to put a shovel in the ground on the second phase. So I'll run through the slides just to give you guys sort of a big picture overview of the site. So it's a multi-phase neighborhood development, and the idea behind it is the innovative urban village is sort of a unique idea, and we're trying to create an entire neighborhood, not just a group of buildings. So the first two phases encompass a total of 4 buildings. Phase 1A is 386 units, and Phase 1B, which is just about to start, is 453 units. It's almost a combined 1 million square feet of space that we're building. A part of 1A would be a fresh grocer space. So there's going to be a supermarket that's going to be on the corner of Flatlands in Pennsylvania, along with some retail spaces on the ground floor. There's mixed apartment rental opportunities that would be governed by a combination of HPD and HCR. So basically 1B is about to start. We wanted to stop in, just give you guys an update where you're at and sort of give you a point of contact for anything that comes up. You guys will have my contact information, anybody from Gotham that you want to run through. As a part of the Innovative Urban Village, a big thing that we're trying to incorporate is community workforce. So instead of just coming into the neighborhood and building some buildings and then moving on, we're trying to take people from the community and give them lifelong building skills. So as we're working with different contractors, we basically give them an update of what we're trying to do with the community. So in conjunction with Kingsborough Community College, myself, the people that are on the team that I'm working with, Gotham's involved. We are working with different people that have submitted applications that come through. We meet with them, we give them training for credentials that would allow them to work on the job site, and we try to figure out what kind of role they want to play on the job site. So we have people that are interested in being an electrician, plumber, carpenter, mason. We basically identify what they're working towards, and we try to give them the skills that they need. So when we're working with subcontractors, we basically go over the play-by-play, and we put together a curriculum that they're going to train, and then we work with them to basically get smaller groups of candidates available, run through training, and then basically lead up into graduation. So in February, we had our first graduation, and it was really awesome. I don't know if anybody attended, but it was like the pride that everybody felt, whether it was subcontractors that I've known for years or people that we met through the community over the last few months. You know, everybody was really proud of the work that went in. We're starting to just now see, since we're through the foundation, people coming on site and working on site. Monadnock has one of the candidates, Larry Moy, who's from Community Board 5, working on site. He's a part of the team. He's there every day. He's excited to work.
Larry who?
Larry Moy, M-O-Y-E. So he's been with us for about a month now. He's doing great. Like I said, he's a part of the team. I don't think there's anything different about him. He's working with the guys. He's learning the trade. And the objective is not just for this job, not just for Monadnock, anyone that comes on board, that we find somebody that could get a career that can go with them. So if their next job is in Manhattan, Bronx, across the street at IUV 1D, if that candidate does the right job, that they basically continue and they could have a career as it goes on.
What's the position?
Laborers. So Monadnock is a construction manager. We only have laborers on site. We don't do like specific trades. We buy all those, but we have anywhere between 5 and 10 laborers. So he's a part of Monadnock labor.
You only mentioned one. It's only one individual.
That Monadnock has right now. So we only have 3 laborers on site. He's one of the 3.
What is your goal? What is your goal? How many would you be employing?
I believe that, and I'm not in charge of the program, Sky wasn't able to join us tonight. I believe that we had 53 candidates make their way through the graduation process, and our objective is to get everybody placed on the job.
53?
Yeah, so we're ramping up in construction now as the foundation finished, and we're just starting superstructure. So we have about 125 to 150 workers on site per day. When we hit our peak of 350 to 400 workers, the objective is that everyone that's made it through the course is working on site.
How long is the course?
The course took about, I would say, 6 months from start to finish, and that was a combination of the screening process of everybody filling out applications, coming to interviews, and then there was an off-site portion at Kingsborough Community College where they actually went to class to get the OSHA and DOB safety training that would allow them to work on the site. And then they came in smaller groups, which would take about a week on site. So we had 5 trades in the first school, and we're going to look to expand on 1B, and then each one of those sessions would have been somewhere between 3 to 5, 3 to 8 candidates that were getting trained in a specific task.
Who paid for the OSHA?
It was a combination of the development. Yeah, so, and we, if there was a commute, we gave vouchers for subway so they can get to school, and all the training was paid for.
And I understand, I'm sorry, the 53 graduates are from our area?
I believe that they were, I can get you specifics on the program of where they came from. It was a combination of outreach that we did. We held an event at the church, and then also the church congregation had people, so it could have been surrounding zip codes. I can get you guys all the data from Sky, who runs the program from Monadnock, and we can send you the statistics. And if I'm off on any of those numbers, I apologize, but I know that like all the training was done in our site trailer, which Monadnock took part of, and we had anywhere between 3 and 8 workers at a time, and there were 5 of those sessions.
While they're training, is there any stipend or any payment for them other than the, in kind for the transportation?
I don't know the answer offhand. I would have to find that out. I do know that on the 1B portion, we're looking to expand the trades that we're offering just based on feedback that we had. And then between Kingsborough and then Sky, and then she was working with some workforce agencies that, sort of group these people. So if there was somebody from outside Community Board 5 that was also like a worthwhile candidate, they probably would have made it into the program.
The workforce, what workforce is that they tapped onto? Did they, because I know we have a few in East New York as well. East New York and Brownsville. Did they partner with any of those?
They did. And I thought that we had names in here, and I apologize that we don't. I can get like a full synopsis on who we worked with, who was involved. But it was, if there were local workforce, like agencies, for lack of a better word, they would have been included in that, and they might have had their own candidates, or they might have been involved in some of the Kingsborough training.
If you could get back to us with that, I'd
I'll get you a full write-up of everything that was included in that with all the statistics.
Thank you.
And then between myself and Sky, we'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. If you turn to the one page that has the map, the site plan, just to give you guys an idea, if you're familiar with the Christian Cultural Center, that would sort of give you a map of where we are in the job. So on the corner, which is the top right of the plan, is phase 1A. That's directly on the corner of Pennsylvania and Flatlands Avenue. And then the next phase of construction is directly to the west of 1A. So the first portion of development, phase 1A and 1B, is basically the eastern parcel of the CCC property, which used to be like a school bus depot. So the first phase, like I said, 1A, which is 386 units. The application process should be starting second quarter of 2026. That would be through HPD and HCR, and then everything that would happen would be basically a year behind for phase 1B. So second quarter of 2027 is when the application process would start, and that's 453 units. It's a mix of studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms.
And the supermarket is going to be on?
The first phase, so it's directly on the corner of Pennsylvania and Flatlands. So each phase is 2 buildings. So the northeastmost building across from Forever Jerk is where the supermarket would be.
Do you have any supermarket in mind?
They're actively working on leasing that space now. So there is not a tenant now. It's basically a white box, and then they're working with somebody to occupy the space and figure out what the fit out is going to be.
But it's not anybody in particular, because Food Bazaar seems to be running over our neighborhood now. And it's like they're monopolizing everything. Not only are they using it for supermarkets, but they're also using it for waste trucks, garbage trucks, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that we have to really reel them in on, because I'm starting to see an uptick of it. I see over there on Flatlands Avenue, the Food Bazaar there, they have garbage trucks parked there now. The one over here by Linden Boulevard, they have a whole block full of waste
That's
trucks.
Flatlands in Louisiana?
Flatlands and, no, that's Pennsylvania, that's Flatlands and, you might be right, Louisiana.
Yeah, a little bit west. Yeah, I've seen the garbage
Right,
trucks.
and then right on Linden Boulevard and Drew Street, there's a whole parking lot full of garbage trucks. What exactly are they transferring? You know, I mean, who's overseeing
Yeah.
that transfer waste? You know, it's in our community, and then at night, people can't open their windows
Right.
because it's the stench. You know, so hopefully Food Bazaar have not monopolized
No Food Bazaar, Elijah.
our entire, area, to bring in these garbage trucks, as a partnership.
You have to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that they've been showing the space recently.
Mhm.
I don't have any feedback on who they've been speaking to, but I can try to get you an update on that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And then we have some photos of the development, and basically some timelines, that's everything that we already spoke about. And then Met Council is our adjacent neighbor just north of Star City. We've been working closely with them just to go over, trying to be good neighbors, let them know what hours we're working and everything else. So I just listed all the hours that we have out here. We don't work every Saturday. There are some Saturdays that we work, but anytime that we're working in an early hour, we basically coordinate with the trades not to do certain activities before a certain time. Basically anything that's going to make a lot of noise, we want to be sensitive to the neighbors that we have, that we're not disturbing them on a Saturday morning at either 7 or 8 a.m. So sometimes later in the day we might end up, whether it's cutting concrete or doing something that would basically be loud and affecting the neighbors, we always coordinate that so that it's happening later in the day. So this is just the hours that we have in case anybody was curious about it. And then the last time that I was here, I had shared my information. I try to communicate with you guys regularly, but if anything ever comes up, we try to be an open door. And I mentioned to Melinda that if you guys ever wanted to come out and see the site firsthand, we'd be happy to host you guys on site to just take a walk through and see it at ground level. And then I'll work to get you guys the update on the community workforce development, and also try to figure out if they have any feedback on potential candidates for the grocer.
Is this one from last month where you're asking for approval to, okay.
Yeah, we have been working occasionally with like a concrete pour or something on Saturdays. So there might come a point in the job where we would request that we would be able to have an 8 a.m. start time on Saturdays. It hasn't come yet, and if it's available, that'd be great. It would just basically be another opportunity for people to work, because a lot of times, if the start time is 9 a.m., the trades, the workers don't really want to come in at 9 and then go home at 2, and it kind of limits the amount of days that they could have. So when we get further into the job and we're doing the facade of the building, which is all the brick and the windows and everything else, we might request that we're trying to get an 8 a.m. start time just to have that additional day and more people the chance to work.
So on here it says 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., but y'all are not working 6 a.m. in the morning.
No, so there's times where we have concrete pours. So basically if there's going to be like 10 or 20 trucks, we try to get them in the gate early, and that's coordinated with DOB. That is not a regular thing, and we're pouring our last 2 concrete pours tomorrow and Friday, which don't have the start times, but excuse me, a lot of times when there's going to be a bunch of concrete trucks, we would get an after-hour variance for an early start time. Excuse Excuse me, sorry.
I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page, that even though it says 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., that we don't make mention of it, because
Absolutely.
we want to think about our neighbors, you know, we don't want
Correct.
down the line say, hey, well, it was there already.
That's actually the big reason why we try to do it is a traffic concern. So when you're doing a big concrete pour, they typically line up a bunch of trucks, and then finishing the concrete is what takes longest, which is really quiet. It's usually a worker with a screed on the concrete. So we try to get the trucks there early in the morning so they could all get placed and poured and not really mess up the traffic in the neighborhood. So DOB is usually aware of that, and they know the time constraint, and they would authorize. We would never work without a DOB permit, but it's usually related to a big concrete pour. So there was a handful of those during foundation, and there's been some during the superstructure of the podium. But once we get into like block and plank and brickwork, that wouldn't be a 6 a.m. start time.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime you see it on here would be related to concrete work.
You have a question?
Yeah, do you remind me what your title is?
I'm the vice president of construction for Monadnock.
And, I don't know if I missed out on the last meeting, but is there parking spaces for any?
There will be parking for the residents, so all the buildings that we're constructing right now have parking below the buildings. So there's a parking garage below each of the 4 buildings.
And everyone gets a parking spot?
No.
There's not enough spaces for everyone in the building. It's a percentage of the total number of apartments.
And I might be getting ahead of myself, but are you guys considering a 1C?
There's future phases in the development. Currently, 1A and 1B are the only plans that are approved, but there's, I believe, 9 phases. So it's continuing to basically, if you're familiar with CCC, the surrounding area is going to be developed. So there's a parking garage that would be built specifically for CCC that would replace any of the spaces that they would be losing, and then future developments would continue along flatlands onto Louisiana.
Is there any ownership arrangements there, any of those units?
I believe that there's the intention for some masonette units to have ownership.
That was already, that's a part of the plan.
Right.
Yeah,
We
I'm
already
the
approved
construction
that.
guy, so some
Yeah.
of the details.
We approved that already. Wait, I was getting ready to say, let's step outside for a second, let's talk.
Yeah.
No, we want to make sure that hasn't been changed.
Yeah.
Right, the bait and switch, you know? like-
That's
No,
why
there
they stay
is.
here.
They said you would get beat up?
Yeah. It wouldn't be the
Just
first time.
Just playing, we welcome you
Yeah.
and we thank you
Thank
for
you
Of
for
course,
all
yeah,
the
and-
information that
Yeah.
you
Thank you
provided
for the
to us.
update.
Yes.
When we signed off on the project, when I say signed off, meaning when we blessed it and we did the resolution and everything, it was with home ownership. So, I know the young lady, she said she just recently started coming. It is with home ownership, and they may even have a website.
Yeah, there's a website that's
There's a
in the
web-
package.
Right, there's a website that you can look on and see all the blueprints.
Okay, thank you.
Al had his hand up.
Al,
Oh,
you have a question?
I know it's probably covered. I just wanted to get a confirmation so I don't ask a question during the general board meeting. In regards to, are they looking for an additional amendment for the existing project?
No,
Okay.
he's just giving us information.
An
An update.
Oh, it's an
Update.
Okay. All right. And then this current project is they already have the LSGD on hand. Large
yeah.
scale development zoning. Okay. Just want to confirm that.
You should,
Yes,
okay.
That's what you have currently?
yes.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you for having
much.
us, we
Well, yeah.
appreciate
I
it.
need your information.
Okay, let me get you a card.
Okay.